Hi, welcome to Christy's Sunrise. Today I'm going to be sharing you my recipe that I use to make homemade strawberry jam. We'll be going back and forth with the camera because I'll be moving it over there so you can see when I'm working with what's in the pot, and I have it over here now for the table, so please bear with me. The first thing we do is I am using these Ball mason jars. They're half pints, and you need to wash them. This recipe makes 6 jars, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but normally it makes 6 jars. So I've washed all of the jars. I have this pot full of water, and I'm not going to tilt it, but I filled it. And then I have a rack in the bottom of it, so the jars are off the bottom of the pan. I'm going to turn the heat on. And what we're doing is we're going to sterilize the jars. Even though they've been washed with warm soapy water and rinsed really well, we still sterilize them. So I'm going to put them in here, and I'm tipping them like this, filling them with water and setting them in so they're full of water. They need to be under the water. You can lay them sideways. They might all fit sideways. Okay, they do all fit sideways. So I'm going to put a lid on it. I have the heat on, and we're going to bring the jars to boil. And I have the rings here. We're going to set them over here to prepare the lids that we seal. I have another pot of water. It's not, I haven't heated it yet, but we're going to put these in here, and what we're doing is we're getting these lids hot so they will be sealed. So I don't know if you could tell what I'm doing. I'm setting them in there so they are scattered. Okay, add a little more water, and I'm going to put them on the back burner, and I put those on medium heat and let them get hot. Okay, so the next thing we're doing, I'm making strawberry jam. The recipe calls for 4 pints of strawberries, 5 cups crushed strawberries. So what this equates to is I bought 2 of these. They're 1 pound packages. So I'm buying 2 of these, and I'll be preparing the fruit. It's 7 cups of sugar. Yes, that's a lot of sugar. And I've already started preparing the fruit. I'm going to stop the camera and deal with the dogs. Okay, sorry about that. So the jars are in the pot. The recipe calls for the strawberries. I told you I buy 2 pounds, 2 packages, I say 16 ounce. A box of Sure-Jell. You're going to need 7 cups of sugar. And then I have tools that I use, and I'll show you those as I go. Now, I have measured out 6 cups of the sugar. You need 7, and I left the last one so I can show you. It's very important that you measure the sugar the correct way. That means that you're leveling off your measuring spoon or cup, okay? So that is 7 cups of sugar. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting my strawberries. They have all been washed, and I'm putting the tops in here, and I just slice the tops off and slice them. And I don't measure these out because I've made this a lot of times. I just know you do need 2 pounds. You buy 2 pounds, you're good. If it has a bad spot on the strawberries, Or if there's a spot on there that's not ripe, I cut it off. See, like the white here, I'll cut that down a little deeper. If it's real bruised, I haven't run into any like that today. I'll cut that part out too. You've got extra in here to absorb anything that you cut off. Now, if they're just really bad and only half of them are good, and you're discarding like 5 half strawberries, I'd buy more. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so there's our strawberries. Now I'm going to move the camera over here so that you can see what I'm going to do over the stove. Okay, so I moved the camera because I'm going to move the pot over here. Then I'm going to put the strawberries in. So as you can see, these jars are getting ready to boil. I'm going to move them to another burner. And the lids are already boiling. You can see the steam, they're hot. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit because they just need to be hot. Okay, so move the jars back over here. Turn this burner on. Now, this is an old pot. I've been using this pot for years. It's pretty thin, so the everything's going to cook really fast. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour the strawberries in. You can already hear it starting to sizzle. You're going to cook this at a real high heat. Your pot might not heat up as fast as mine has, but again, my metal is so thin. Okay, so we're going to get the strawberries going. I cook them down, get them a little hot, and then they're going to cook for a minute or so. I'm going to smash them with the potato masher. And then I'm going to add the fruit pectin once it gets warm. Go ahead and tell you, these directions used to come in the box. This is the box. They don't come in the box anymore. You have to go online to get the directions. But I'll just tell you what it says. You're going to go down to jam. I follow the directions on here. And here for jam, it's bring boiling water canner, half full of water. Bring to boil, then you simmer it. Wash the jars. We've already done all that. Prepare the fruit. You're going to measure. Make sure you measure your sugar out before you start this process. If you do not measure your sugar out and this is ready for you to add sugar, you're going to be panicking. So please make sure that you measure your sugar out. And make sure you measure it. I mean, even though I measured it out with the cup, still check this to make sure you counted right. You don't want to mess this up because you're wasting a lot of fruit and everything if you do. So I get the fruit hot. I'm going to go ahead and add the bag of pectin. Make sure you get it all. And this helps it gel. Add the pectin. You can see it cooking. It's getting juicy. Wait till you see what it does when you add the sugar. Move those over there for the deer. Like I said, this is not something you can start and go walk off and brush your teeth. Once you're in here and you're doing all of this, don't stop. You don't have time to stop. They're a little juicy. I'm going to go ahead and start smashing them some. I'll smash them a little more once I add the sugar, maybe, if I need to, but just kind of, you don't have to get them all smashed. I mean, the chunks are still going to cook down. It is jam, so it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to have chunks of fruit in it, so. I will tell you what some friends of ours do when they get jam from me. They pour it, they put it in the microwave, warm it up, and pour it over ice cream. There's a little green piece. You really don't have to take it out, but you know, a little leaf. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so let this get a little hotter. Like I said, you cannot walk off from this. I'm sorry, I'm banging. Make sure the jars are still going. Okay, I'm going to cook this. I'm going to move the sugar over because we're going to be, like I said, it starts going really fast when you move everything over. Okay, it's boiling. You boil it at about a minute. Try not to let it stick to the bottom of the pan. You don't want burnt strawberries. But you can see it's boiling pretty good. Now I gradually add the sugar, stirring it in. It's going to turn into a really pretty shiny color. It's going to be beautiful. Just incorporate the sugar a little at a time. Gets a little hot, you might want to wear a mitten. Don't burn yourself. Always safety first. Incorporating the sugars gradually. Stirring it as you go. I'm dissolving it before I add the other. Do you see the color? It's turning a little brighter. So yes, they put the strawberry jam on vanilla ice cream. And they love it. I personally am a fan of peach jam, and I put the peach jam over on my pancakes. I don't use syrup on my pancakes, I use peach jam. Strawberry jam might be good on pancakes too. I'm going to go ahead and put my mitten on because it's getting pretty hot. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil. A rolling boil. A rolling boil is when you stir it and it does not stop boiling. If it's boiling and you stir it and it stops boiling, that is not a rolling boil. Peek at my jars. Oh yeah, they're ready. You got to do all of this pretty fast. Oh, also need to add about a half a teaspoon of butter at this time. And what that does is supposed to cut back on the foaming. Do not stop stirring this. You need to keep stirring it because you don't want it to burn. You don't want it to stick to the pan. Now yours might take longer than mine is, and that's because my pan is really thin, like I had said earlier. Starting to thicken. You can tell it kind of sticks to the spoon. You can see that. There's nothing like homemade jam. I had a friend of mine, I made them strawberry jam, and they had store-bought strawberry jam at home, and she said we did the taste test, Christy. She said we set the strawberry jam from the store out and your strawberry jam, and we tested both of them. She says there's nothing like homemade strawberry jam. Not necessarily mine, it can be your homemade strawberry jam, but there's nothing like it. Making sure my table's prepared, because I'll be switching over here next. Looks delicious, and it's starting to gel. And it still is foaming some, and that's okay. We will be scraping the foaming off the top. I just turned it up a little. You do cook this at a high temperature. Okay, it's starting to boil. Remember, a rolling boil is what it needs to be. And a rolling boil is when you stir it and it keeps boiling. So right now it's boiling, I'm stirring it, and it stops boiling. And here we go. Get ready to rock and roll. Get ready to rock and roll. Okay. We're going to boil it for a minute. Apologize for the dogs. Life happens, right? Okay, so it's boiling. Okay, I'm stirring it. I stop. It's still boiling. This is a rolling boil. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. And it's going to royal boil for 1 minute. Do not stop stirring it at this time. You need to keep stirring. Some strawberries are still pretty big, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera and switch everything around so that I can show you how we bottle these up. Hoping everything is positioned well so that you can see. I have a tool like this that gets the jars out of the hot water. Set them on here. Make sure you can see that. Turn them right side up. So they're empty. Make sure you drain all the water out of them. You really need a tool like this. I have been known, this is what I used before I had the tool. And I have this to spoon the jam in to the jars with. And a metal ladle. Before I had this, I just had a funnel, and I'll show you the funnel. But I had a regular funnel, and I just cut out a part of it, and that's what I used before I had this fancy thing. Okay, so now we're going to ladle the jam into the jars. I hope you can see. You want to make sure that you leave a space, like don't fill up above this line. I try not to make a mess, but I'm a messy cook, so everybody that knows me knows that. Now I can tell you this probably would have made 7 jars, but I only water bathed 6. So what you can do with the rest is put them in another jar. Let me top some of these off. Put them in another jar and put the jar straight into the refrigerator or put them into a bowl. And I'll be putting this into a bowl. But I'm going to move on now to show you what we do next because we've got to hot water bath them. So I move this over. Okay, the water is still really hot. Now we're going to hot water bath them. The lids, they're hot. You want to wipe all of these off. Make sure the top and all the way around the jars are clean. You don't want any dirty jars, anything, because they've got a seal. And they're not going to seal if there's fruit in the way. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these. They're hot. I'm going to lay it on top. Lay it on top. Lay it on top. They're hard to get out, and sometimes they stick together. This one's really being stubborn. They stick together. When you pull them apart, it's going to be hot. So, and then you're going to put the screw lids on them. Again, they're going to be hot. They're going to be hot. Okay, I'm gonna tighten them. They don't have to be skin tight. Just tighten them. Now we're gonna lift them up with this. And you're gonna gently put them in the water. And you're gonna space them out. And I'll move the camera back over there so you can see that. They need to be spaced out. They should not be touching. And they have to have like an inch of water over the top. I'm arranging them carefully. If it doesn't look like I'm going to have enough water, I'll usually add this. Do not add cold water to that. This water is still hot from the lids. So I'm going to add that over it. And I'm going to move the camera. I hope I don't make you dizzy. So you can see how they're arranged. There's a good inch of water over them. And I'm going to put the lid on them. After it comes to boil, for jams, we boil the jams for 10 minutes after they come to boil. We boil jelly for 5 minutes after it comes to boil. We start the timer. So I'm gonna, it's starting to boil. You know, it'll boil faster with the lid on, but I want you to see the process. But you can put the lid on it and then take it back off. And then when it's boiling, start timing it. I'll do that. looks like it's boiling. You'll need a pot holder too on your lid. Still not boiling. So I'm going to bring this to boil. I'm going to let it boil. Once it starts boiling, I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And then I will come back to you and remove them and show you how they look. Okay, I moved everything around so you can see. It has boiled for 10 minutes, and with luck, as soon as I turned the camera off, I looked and it was boiling. So, as you can see, it's still boiling. So I'm going to remove the jars, and I'm going to set them on a cooling rack. It's a rack to allow space under it. And it's really cool because you'll hear the jars popping, and usually scares the dogs. That means that they're sealing. Okay. I do want to apologize because I should have done 8 jars. I did not look at this closely, but I am sharing with you my mistake. So this is the strawberry jam, See Cooked Jams. It makes 8 cups. So I should have boiled 8 jars instead of 6. So that's why I have the leftovers, but I'm just going to put them in jars and put them in the refrigerator. If I wanted, I guess I could heat more jars up and do the lids and everything and seal them and hot water bath them. But so anyway, so this is our strawberry jam. And as it sits, see, you can see right now, it's a liquidy. But as it sits, it's going to get firm, and I'll come back and show you that when they're firm. I know making jellies or jams can seem intimidating. It's really not, and the taste is unbelievable. I usually give these out at Christmas, and I hope that you try it. Thanks. If you like the video, subscribe, push the like, and share. Thank you.